Okay, so completing the square. This is like the thing that I hate the most. I think most people hate this the most, and it's something, you did in high school, and now you're in college, and you don't know how to finish the problem because you don't know how to complete the square, or you don't know how to even start the problem because you can't complete the square. Well, hopefully after this video, it'll click, right? So I'll start off by describing the steps, right? Step one is, well, actually, before we do that, remember the form x squared plus bx plus c, right? So what we do for step one, so let me erase that step one because it's a little too big. What we do for step one is we always look at b. So we look at b. So we go b divided by 2, and then we go b divided by 2 squared, right? And I'm just going to say that equals some number, okay? Right? Because it's true, it's just going to equal some number. And by the way, if it's a negative, if it's like minus 2x, then it's minus 2 divided by 2. Well, that will come clear in the example soon, but that's what we do, right? Okay, then step 2 is you just go ax squared plus bx plus number is equal to, by the way, you need to have c on the other side. I should have said that earlier. Number minus c. So, 1 second, let me try to make this frame bigger. Or go like this for now, at least. Okay. You're like, oh, didn't you change the value of the equation? No, I didn't. I I added a number on one side, added a number on the other side. So if I was to minus this number on this side and minus that number on this side, 0. All you did is actually add 0. And if you add 0, you did nothing, right? So that's it. And that's all it really is. In step 3, I mean, there's a little bit more to it, I guess. Is, you try to find a factoring pair, right? So that's where we kind of got to hope that we get a factoring pair, right? Your classic like x plus 1 parenthesis, x minus 1 parenthesis, right? Like we want something like that. Hopefully we'll get that by adding a number on one side, a number on the other. Sometimes we don't, but or sometimes you do. Oh, no, you will always get that number, but it may be a fraction. We would hope to get a full number, but in the future, if you do have a problem and it's a fraction, don't be weirded out. It's probably supposed to be that way. Okay, so let me just make some space now. Don't worry, I'm not going to delete the steps because I need them for myself. I'll just make them small, put them on the corner. And by the way, everything that I write, you guys will have because there will be a link in the description with all of this. Right, so you don't have to worry about trying to write down everything I write. Okay, well in this case, let's think about b. Well, what does b equal in for number 1? b is equal to 12. Okay, and then we go b over 2 squared, right? And then we see that that becomes 12 over 2. Oh, well, not 12 over 1. 12 over 2 squared. 12 over 2 is 6. 6 squared, 36. Good. Okay, so we got 36. Now we can do it as x squared plus 12x plus 36. And let's move the 32 on the other side. And we get plus 36. And yeah, that's what we get. Okay, now we got to think about our combination, right? So we got x squared plus 12x plus 36. Let's think about something that is a factorable combination, I like to say. Well, we need it to sum to 12, and we need its product to equal 36. What I mean by that specifically, let's think about 6, the number 6. So 6 times 6 is 36, right? And 6 plus 6 is 12, okay? And yeah, truthfully, you just have to kind of have an intuition about those numbers, what to pick. That's the truth, right? And sometimes you may go through multiple pairs of numbers, trying to pick certain numbers, but eventually you will get a pair, right? So you get x squared. Nope. You could write this as x plus 6 squared is equal to, and negative 32 plus 36 is what? It's 4, right? Okay, so you already got this new answer right here, and that's good. And let's just check this real quick. Let's just do a little check. If I was to write it as x plus 6, well, that is x squared plus 6x plus 6x plus 36. And by the way, a trick is whatever c, well, not c, whatever this number is, 6, you times that by 2, and times it by x, and you'll always get x. Like what I meant here is like whatever this number is, right? It's 6. So times it by 2, and then times it by x, so times it by 2x. It's always going to be 12x. Like that's a little trick to kind of speed up the process. If that didn't make sense, just do it the long way. It's fine. And 6 times 6 is 36. So look at that. We're back to step 1, right? Good. Well, we don't really want to be at step 1. We want to go to like step 3. But for now, we'll just go back to step 2. So we got x plus 6 squared is equal to 4. You want to find what x is. Well, maybe if you get rid of that square at the top, I don't know how you would do that. Maybe a square root, right? Then you could find what 6 is. So you could say you get x plus 6. So I'm going to get rid of that square by square rooting both sides. So you get 4. And remember, it's not just 2. It is plus or minus 2. Okay? So then your final answer is plus or minus 2 minus 6. I mean, maybe a little bit of a nicer way of saying this is negative 6 plus or minus 2. So your two roots are negative 6 minus 2, x negative 6 plus 2. And what is that? That's negative 8. And what is that? That's negative 4. So that's your two roots. There you go. Right? Let's think about this. So what did you do? You found b, you divided by 2, and you squared it. We got 36. So you add 36 on one side, add 36 on the other side. Then you find a linear, not linear. You find a combination of numbers that will kind of recreate this, right? Not kind of, will recreate x squared plus 12x plus 36. In our case, that combination was x plus 6 and x plus 6. So you rewrite the equation, and then you solve for x. So it looks like there's a lot going on, but in terms of actual steps, there's like 3 steps, like I said. Okay, well, let's try this for the next one. Okay. So we got x squared minus 18x minus 72. Okay. You're like, oh, what is b? Well, remember when I said if b has a negative coefficient? Well, remember that b is a negative coefficient. Not going to be 18, it's going to be negative 18. Then what does that turn into, right? You go negative 18 divided by 2 squared. And what's that? That's 9, right? Negative 9 squared, which is 81. Okay, that's nice. So then we could rewrite everything as x squared minus 18x plus 81, and 81 minus 72. And 81 minus 72, that might be the hardest thing in here. Well, that's 9. Right? So we have this new equation. I'll rewrite it again for everyone. Squared minus 18x plus 81 is equal to 9. So that's our new equation. And like I said, it's the exact same thing as earlier. We don't actually change the value of anything. We're just doing a really kind of complicated way to add 0 to both sides. Okay. Yeah, so x squared minus 18x plus 81 is equal to 9. Right. Well, let's think of a combination here. Okay, if we think of a combination where its product is equal to 81 and its sum is equal to 18, what comes to mind? I think -9 comes to mind. Right, so go up here. So you could write it as x minus 9 squared is equal to 9. And I will write the bottom part just to prove it to you guys. X squared -9 times 2x is -18x plus 81. Yeah, okay, so it does work, right? Good, good. So I'm going to erase that little. I just wanted to prove it to everyone that it does work. 3x minus 9 squared equals 9, right? And so we want to solve for x again. Well, if we get rid of that square at the top by square rooting both sides, x minus 9 is equal to the square root of 9, which, remember, it's not just 3, it's plus or minus 3. So then we get x is equal to plus or minus 3 plus 9, which is the same thing as 9 plus or minus 3. Oh, let's make sure it's a plus sign. So then we can say x is equal to 9 plus 3, and x is equal to 9 minus 3, which is 12, and 9. So that's our 2. Oh, no, you guys can't see that. My bad. Yeah, that's what I meant, right? So remember, we have a polynomial of degree 2, so we'll have 2 roots, which is 12 and 9. So truthfully, this is our answer right here, right? And that's what completing the square is. So again, the steps are you find what b is, and then you divide b by 2, and you square it, you add it to both sides, and then when you add it to both sides, hopefully you can think of a combination that leads to a nice factored pair, right? And then you can solve for x that way, okay? And whatever degree x is, and by the way, when I say degree, that means the number, and that means the max power. So, like, if it was x cubed, for example, it would be degree 3, but since it's x squared, it's degree 2, right? So whatever degree it is, that will be the number of roots you have. So if we have degree 2, we should always have 2 values for x. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. Have a good day.